Sometimes life brings moments that feel like everything stops. You lose someone you love. The feelings you once believed would last forever crumble, and suddenly your heart feels empty, while your mind is flooded with countless why questions. You think, was I not enough? Could I have acted differently? Would things have turned out another way? But let's be honest, these questions don't change anything. In fact, they often pull us deeper into a spiral of pain. This is exactly where one of the most powerful philosophies of the ancient world, Stoicism, reaches out to us, especially through the life lessons of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was not just a ruler, he was a man constantly grappling with his inner world. He said, "You cannot control what happens in life, but you can control your attitude toward it." Imagine if during a heartbreak, you approached the situation with this perspective. How different could your life feel? If you apply just 3 of Marcus Aurelius's rules to this painful period, you'll see that a breakup isn't a disaster, it's an opportunity to rediscover yourself. These rules aren't meant to stop your tears. They exist to remind you of your own strength, because true power doesn't lie in holding on to someone else. It lies in mastering yourself. So in this video, we're going to explore what happens when you apply Marcus Aurelius's 3 rules to a breakup. Whether you've experienced heartbreak or not, understanding these principles will be fascinating. Let's begin, but before we do, I'd be thrilled if you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future content. Imagine you love someone. You want to be happy with them, build a future together, and do everything you can to make things work. But sometimes, without warning, separation happens. And naturally you think, why did this happen? How could I have changed it? Let's be real. Breakups are some of the hardest moments in life. Loving someone, spending time with them, planning a future together. It's natural to want to control it. But Marcus Aurelius teaches us that some things are within our control, and some things are not. This simple yet profound distinction changes everything. Think about it. You cannot control another person's feelings, decisions or actions, whether they love you, choose you, or stay with you. These are not in your hands. Trying to hold on only tires you, wounds your spirit, and drains your energy. Many people struggle to accept this truth, which is why they feel deeply hurt, stressed, and guilty. Marcus Aurelius said that much of our happiness comes from focusing on what we can control. The only things you truly control are your own actions, thoughts, and emotions. In the context of a breakup, this means recognizing that the other person's choice is not your responsibility. Their lack of love, their decision to leave, does not reduce your worth. Your value is never determined by someone else's choices. Sometimes people say, "But I don't want to lose them. I loved them, I would have done anything for them." Stoic philosophy answers this clearly. Love is like a gift you give freely, but whether it is received or accepted is up to the other person. If they don't accept your love, you cannot force it. Your responsibility is to protect your heart, maintain calm, and keep your spirit intact. Here's a simpler way to think about it. Your life energy is spent in 2 ways. The first is energy you invest in things you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your feelings. The second is energy spent on things you cannot control, trying to change someone else, trying to force outcomes. In breakups, people often waste most of their energy on the second type, analyzing their ex's behavior, doing everything to win them back, yet nothing changes. Marcus calls this wasted energy. Let's bring this to everyday life. After a breakup, you might find yourself replaying the past, waiting for their message, analyzing their actions, thinking, what if I had done things differently? That's normal. But the Stoic perspective reminds us that the past no longer belongs to you. You cannot control it. You cannot change their choices. What you can control is the present and the future, how you feel, how you act, and the steps you take from now on. What is the strongest aspect of this rule? When you start applying it, you gradually begin to feel a sense of calm. You realize that a breakup isn't something against you, it's simply a part of life. You don't lose your value, you don't lose your strength. On the contrary, you grow stronger. You are no longer dependent on someone else's decisions. You are the leader of your own life. Here's a small exercise I suggest. Dedicate 5-10 minutes each day and ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? For example, whether your ex talks to you or loves you, these things are beyond your control. But what is within your control? Calming your mind, feeling better, focusing on your life, and building healthy relationships. As you apply this in your daily life, a breakup gradually becomes less painful. Remember, this rule doesn't only work in breakups. In every moment of life, we try to change others, events, or outcomes. True freedom comes from letting go of what you cannot control. This brings inner peace, emotional strength, and less stress. In conclusion, the first step to staying calm during a breakup is understanding that the choices of others are not your responsibility. Don't try to change them. Don't waste your energy. Your job is to heal yourself and strengthen yourself. Marcus Aurelius' lesson is clear. Your worth is never determined by another person's decision. Your inner strength and calm are entirely in your hands. So the first rule of the great philosopher is to let go of what you cannot control. Yes, breakups are an inevitable part of life for everyone, and everyone experiences deep emotional storms during this time. Sadness, anger, jealousy, emptiness, loneliness. These are natural feelings, and experiencing them proves that we are human. Marcus Aurelius said that we should not be slaves to these feelings. This is the second rule, and it's a very important lesson because most people live their lives as slaves to their emotions. But what does it mean to be a slave to your emotions? It means that sadness controls you, anger controls you, jealousy influences your decisions. You are no longer the leader of your life. Your feelings are leading you. This situation is dangerous because when a person is a slave to their emotions, their inner peace, clarity of thought, and energy are completely lost. Stoic philosophy offers a different approach. Marcus Aurelius said, "Observe your emotions, but do not become their slave." This principle may seem simple, but in practice, it is very powerful. The key point is that we don't deny or suppress emotions. We simply assert control over them. We acknowledge them, we see them, but we do not let them rule us. Imagine this, inside you is a sea. The waves of this sea are made of sadness, anger, jealousy, and emptiness. Many people drown in these waves, every step and breath controlled by them. The Stoic approach says, you are on the shore. The waves will come and go, but you will not be swept away by them. You simply observe, you see their movements, but you do not give them your life. During a breakup, emotions are often confusing because we start analyzing ourselves and the other person. Why did this happen? What if I had acted differently? Why didn't they text me? These questions are normal, but if you react emotionally and overwhelm yourself, you have become a slave to your feelings. The Stoic approach says, the past is no longer ours. We only have control over our present and future reactions. What do we mean by observing your emotions? It means seeing your feelings clearly. You feel sadness, but you are not sadness. Anger comes, but you are not anger. This simple principle gives you emotional freedom. You are no longer under the control of your feelings. You observe them, but they do not control you. You can practice this daily. Sit in a quiet place, close your eyes, and observe your inner feelings. I feel sadness inside me, but I am not sadness. I feel anger inside me, but I am not anger. I feel these emotions, but they cannot control my life. By doing this exercise every day, you increase your control over your feelings and develop inner calm. One of the key messages of Stoic philosophy is that observing your emotions does not mean ignoring or denying them. On the contrary, it is about fully accepting them while not merging yourself with them. This approach teaches you inner stability, emotional strength, and how to live a more balanced life. After a breakup, emotions often touch many aspects of life. But if you apply the principle of not being a slave to them, you restore your inner freedom. You learn to stay calm, think clearly, and prevent your feelings from controlling you. As Marcus Aurelius said, We feel, but we must not become slaves to our feelings. From this we can conclude that feelings of breakup, sadness, anger, jealousy, and emptiness are normal, but being a slave to them makes life harder, drains your energy, and robs you of inner calm. The Stoic approach says, observe your emotions, but do not let them control you. This principle will give you inner strength and emotional freedom in every moment of life. The third rule is about not sacrificing your inner strength to external losses. Breakup is one of the hardest moments in life. You love someone, you want to be with them, you dream of building a future together. But one day, that person leaves your life. Naturally, your heart hurts. A sense of emptiness arises, and you feel incomplete, as if something is missing. Some people make a mistake here. They measure their inner strength and self-worth by whether someone else is present in their life. If they weren't gone, I would be happy, they say. This kind of thinking gradually weakens a person and eats away at them from the inside. Marcus Aurelius, however, shows us another way. He said, external events should not shake your spirit. In simple terms, your value is never determined by someone else's presence. Your worth, your inner strength, and your self-respect do not depend on anyone else. A breakup cannot destroy your inner strength. On the contrary, it can strengthen it and serve as a foundation for new opportunities. Applying this rule in daily life works like this. For example, when your partner leaves, you may feel lonely. Naturally, this feeling will arise, and it should. But if you protect your inner strength, this feeling will not control you. You no longer measure yourself by the absence of another. Your power is within you, and no one can give it to you or take it away. Consider an example. Days pass. You remember that person every morning. You wait for their messages, and everything you see triggers memories of them. Most people lose themselves here, but the Stoic approach sees it differently. You can look at these memories, but they should not control you. You are simply the observer. Your inner strength remains unchanged. Marcus Aurelius's Stoic Philosophy teaches us that losses are part of life. Every loss, every breakup, every change is a test. But if you protect your inner strength, these tests do not weaken you. Instead, they bring clarity, independence, and new opportunities. A breakup is only an external event. Your inner world is entirely in your hands. Let's think more deeply. Your inner strength allows you to rediscover yourself every day. You are no longer dependent on someone else's decisions. A breakup may change your world, but you will not lose your inner power. This is true freedom, because now your happiness and value are no longer dependent on external events. They are found within you. Practically, you can apply this by telling yourself every day, my worth is not measured by someone else's presence. I'm strong, I can heal myself, I can be happy again. At first, this may seem like a simple sentence, but over time, it changes your mindset and strengthens your inner power. Imagine going through life after a breakup while protecting your inner strength. Every morning you feel the emptiness, but it no longer controls you. You observe your emotions without being a slave to them. You do not break yourself over external losses. You protect your inner power. This is true Stoic freedom. Breakups and losses should not weaken you. Your inner strength, your value, and your self-worth do not depend on anyone else's presence. Marcus Aurelius' Stoic lesson is clear. Never sacrifice your inner strength for any external event. A breakup does not weaken you. On the contrary, it becomes a foundation for your renewal. Breakups often feel like the end of the world. It's as if time stops and your heart shatters. But the Stoic approach reminds us that a breakup is actually a test, a stage that measures your inner strength and gives you the opportunity to become stronger and freer. The 3 rules taught by Marcus Aurelius can be your closest allies during this test. Let's recall them once more. Rule 1, let go of what you cannot control. Not everything in life is in your hands. Another person's feelings, decisions, or actions are beyond your control, and trying to hold on to them only exhausts you. Accepting this during a breakup brings calmness and helps reduce inner turmoil. Rule 2, observe your emotions, but do not be enslaved by them. After a breakup, sadness, jealousy, or anger may arise, but you don't have to be a prisoner of these feelings. Simply observe them. Be like a spectator. The sadness exists, but you are not the sadness. This perspective grants emotional freedom. Rule 3. Do not sacrifice your inner strength to external losses. The absence of someone else should not make you feel incomplete. Your worth, strength, and happiness are never measured by anyone else's presence. On the contrary, this inner strength serves as a solid foundation for rising again and turning a new page. When you apply all these rules in your daily life, a breakup no longer feels like an end. It becomes just a stage, a test that challenges your inner strength. You learn that true freedom is first and foremost the ability to govern yourself. In other words, no matter what happens in the world, you can remain calm, stay in control, and preserve your inner balance. Yes, a breakup is not the end. It is a test of your inner strength. Staying calm during this test, owning your emotions, and protecting your strength will give you the greatest freedom. And remember, this freedom will guide you precisely when you need it most. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope knowing these rules was helpful to you. If it was, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like and share this video. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future Stoic wisdom. Don't forget to share your thoughts and reflections in the comments. See you in the next video.